is a hardcore technical topic. And again, what we will be concentrating in this topic is only on the single beam and not on the complete structure. So let me tell you just a brief background why this topic was taken up and how it is brought in here. In 1999-2000, I started my dissertation with this topic, and there were certain concepts which were developed at that time, considering a lot of literature survey and a number of research papers were studied, as well as computer programs were prepared. Then this concept was introduced in 800-2007. Part concept was introduced. Then further study was prepared that now this concept, how it has been considered in the popular software which we are using on day-to-day basis for our structural steel design. And then question comes that how, whether it is being considered properly or not, means are we erring on the conservative side, unconservative side. So I was just in the state of writing technical paper on this. I had all the material in the background, and then Mr. Avneet approached me that can you present something, and then this was ready with me, and then I said, okay, definitely I will present this. So again, as I said, it's a hardcore technical topic, but don't worry, I will try to make it as interesting and as simple as possible. So this is the content of the presentation. We will see. First, what is the elastic flexural torsional buckling, what we are going to talk about. How it has been conceived in the latest Indian standard code, which is IS 800-2007, considering Limit-State Design Method approach. And how this approach has been considered in the popular software. And as we have just discussed earlier, that whether there are any errors considered because of this approach. Okay, so this is the way we will go about. So first question comes that what is elastic flexural torsional buckling. I will read out this. It doesn't matter if you really don't understand. We will see a few pictures also. This is the important limit state which needs to be considered for the steel structural design. It occurs when a structural member experiences significant out of plane bending and twisting. And this type of failure generally occurs suddenly in members with a much greater in-plane bending stiffness as compared to the lateral bending stiffness. Let us see from the photograph now. Now here what you see is a cantilever beam, and it is having point load at the end. And now you can see from the figure that the section has twisted as well as there is flexural bending. So this phenomenon is known as a elastic flexural torsional buckling. And because of this phenomenon, we will not be able to utilize the actual complete strength of the section. And then from that, this innovation has come for the closed section. So this was cantilever beam. This is simply supported beam, and it is having end moments. And now you can see from the figure that it is having, it is displaced outwards, meaning it has moved out of its plane. Okay, warping is also, it is associated with this figure. When we see, when we see two figure, in first figure it is a circular cross section, and in the next figure it is a I section. So when we apply twisting to the circular cross section, all section will remain in its own plane. But when we will apply twisting to the I section, you can see the cross section will move out of its plane. This is a phenomenon which is known as a warping. Okay, then question comes that what are the factors which really affects this phenomenon. So Definitely it is a material property, cross-sectional properties, geometrical properties, boundary conditions, as well as the loading conditions. Now I have put red cross here. You just keep it in your mind, these boundary conditions as well as load conditions, which we'll be discussing at the end of the part. Okay, this is just brief about the elastic flexural torsional buckling. Now let's see how it is considered in IS 800 2007, which is our latest code. I have mentioned here that this is a simplified approach. This is a clause number 8.2.2, and there are conditions given that for these A, B and C conditions are satisfied, then we need not consider this phenomenon. And this 8.2.2.1 is the equation which will give the elastic critical moment. Our whole discussion will be today on this MCR value. Now here what equation what we see is a simplified approach, and this is for the simply supported beam, prismatic cross sections and having uniform moment. I believe some of you would not able to understand or rather appreciate, but you just be with the flow. In the end part it will become more and more simpler. Okay? So this is a simple approach, means whatever conditions, whatever load conditions we have, this is a simple equation by which we can derive the MCR value. So as it is mentioned, M1 and M2 both are having equal value. This is the clauses given for the effective length. We will not go into detail for this. Now question comes, what is the approach adopted in the popular software? If we talk about STAAD particularly right now, then it uses the simplified concept what we have just discussed. Then it is a simply supported beam having uniform end moments. Now in Indian Standard Code, this is the statement again given that MCR for different beam section considering loading, supporting condition and non-symmetric section shall be more accurately calculated using annexure E. So this is more generalized equation again given in the IS 800 code. So let us see quickly. Now you can see that now this equation has expanded. Earlier it was very small equation, now it has expanded. So if you see carefully, it is having now three factors, C1, C2 and C3 included. So popularly also it is known as a three-factor formula because it is dependent upon three factors. So question comes that what is the difference between this simplified approach and the generalized equation? In the generalized equation, variation of moment across the span has been considered. In simplified case, it was end moment having equal value at both the ends. Height of application of load from the shear center is considered. We will see what impact it makes. Support conditions are also considered in this generalized equation. Non-symmetry about major axis is also considered. So let's see quickly what is C1, C2 and C3 because these are the three factors now introduced. C1 is the variation in the end moment. First figure what you see that is the uniform moment, and then next part you can see that is variation of end moment. Again we will be having different type of loading conditions, simply supported, then you have concentrated load. Okay, all different types of bending moment diagrams will be there, which will be catered through this C1 factor. Then we were discussing about the height of load application from the shear center. So that effect is taken care by C2 factor. Now, if you see carefully that for doubly symmetric I cross section, shear center is at the center. So in the first figure, load is applied on the shear center. In the second figure, you see that load is applied at the top flange. So from the figure you can make it out that whenever this section is twisted, you will have additional eccentricity. So because of that, you will be having the destabilizing effect. So your MCR value will be going on the lower side. Mind well, these effects have not been considered in the simplified approach. There is factor C3 also, which talks about the non-symmetry, but at this moment we will skip it. We will only concentrate on C1, C2 because we will be concentrating only on the I-beam. Also, as we have discussed, that it will also consider the different boundary conditions, that whether it is a fixed pin or it is having one support as a free and another is cantilever. And finally, this is the table which is presented in the Indian Standard Code. Sorry. So here you can see carefully. When you see in the first figure C1 is equal to 1, and in the last portion C1 varies from 2.75 to 3.14 value. You just keep these values in your mind. And for this is 1.285 and 0.712. Now the question comes that what will be the difference between this generalized equation as well as in the simplified approach. We all are now concerned for this. So one of the student, I think he is presented here. He has carried out thesis under my guidance. I think he is present here. Yeah, he is there. And now what we'll be going through very quickly to the most interesting part, that why this topic has been chosen and then what are the differences we'll be getting. So what we have done right now, it's only simple ISMB 600 beam we have taken, only single beam. We have varied length and we have varied all loading conditions, support conditions, as well as all boundary conditions, and then tables have been prepared. So what we have done, just to make it very simple for you to understand, all critical MCR moment which we get from the simplified approach, that we have taken it as a 1. And for all other different cases, we have simply put in the multiplication of 1. So here what we see now, first is the moment gradient. So what you can see is these all values are 1. And when we have moment gradient, that is from xi is equal to 1 to xi is equal to -1, which is in the end part, you can see it is a 2.75 times. So if we go normally simply by the conventional or simplified approach, our value will be 1. But if we go with the exact formula, it will be 2.75 times, which is substantially higher value. Now of course, in these cases, K is equal to 0.5. Again, result you can see it is maximum value is 2.9 times. Now as we were discussing, there are different support loading conditions. Again, you can see here value is reaching even 3.03 times. But now it is getting even more interesting. You can see now it is reaching 0.75 times. That means it is now reducing. And even more dangerous case is this one. It is 0.3 times. So in simple words, in software it will give you MCR is equal to 1, but actually your MCR should have been only 0.3 times that value, which is very dangerous. Okay, so let me conclude very fast now. This is very important phenomenon which needs to be considered in the steel structure design. Popular software as of today, they adopt a simplified approach because there are certain formulas, automated formulas are not given in the software. or rather in IS code. So in the simplified approach, as we have seen, that effect of moment variation across the span, loading from shear center as well as different supporting conditions will not be considered. And there can be substantial variation in the value of MCR if we go with the simplified approach. Okay. Now in IS Tracti, we have formed one BIS Codal committee. That is just for bridging the gap between practicing engineers and the technical committee of Indian Standard Codes. Excuse me, please. And now this entire committee is working for all IS codes. But we have started our activities with IS 800 2007 first. Still, what we are discussing is just only one clause and only one parameter. Still, there are a number of other things which we are taking further.